He's Donovan Ezeiruaku. He is a defensive end and a junior for Boston College. Fourth in the nation with sacks with 11. Donovan,
Woo!
appreciate you joining the chat, my man. How you doing today?
I'm good. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Excited to have you on. Now, let's first start with Saturday. End the skid, get that big win over Q's. You had 2 sacks yourself. How did it feel to get that win and get back on the right side of the outcome and get you guys, especially at home, winning again?
It felt really good. We had a really good week of practice from the bye week as well as, the game week. And somebody said to me after the game, it was, how does it feel to finally get back on track after 5 weeks of, not having a win? And that kind of put it in perspective for me. I'm like, wow, like it has been a few weeks. But it just felt great. It was a great team win.
Donovan, I watched you dominate against Cuse, man. You stood on business. I appreciated the game you had. And on this show, we've had so many offensive players from your team. But now we finally got a defender on here. Talk to me about this defense, please. What makes this defense for Boston College so special?
Yeah, I think I would say Coach Lewis does a great job of, obviously, scheming things up on that side, but, allowing us to, play free within the scheme. We kind of saw that this past game with the defensive line doing what we had to do. And then, guys getting after on the defensive side. So it's exciting.
What was it like for you that you come in, you have different coaches, and now with Tim Lewis leading the way? I mean, Hafley was a great defensive mind. Tim Lewis, NFL experience. What's it like that you're now learning from a guy that has been in the NFL and been across multiple leagues teaching you how to play football?
It's been really good transition going from a great coaching staff defensively to another one with his defensive mind and all the experience that Coach Lewis has had, and he tells a lot of stories while we're in our meetings and stuff like that about the guys that he's coached, and it's always good to hear little small tips and tricks that those guys did, or the coaching points that he gave those guys in the past, and being able to utilize that right now. So.
Hey, no one from SMU is watching, so give me the game plan here. Because, listen, this team, they're no joke, man. I mean, you guys are going to have your hands full. How are you going to win this? How are you guys attacking this game defensively?
Well, so we really didn't get the game plan yet. We're still coming off of, yesterday's practice was more like a corrections from Syracuse. But, obviously on the defensive side, just, doing what we, try to do best and, stop the run. Obviously affect the quarterback in the passing game. I think it boils down to that defensively, and that's what we're going to try and do, this week coming up.
I want to ask you, because you're a guy, you get after the quarterback, but you're also a good, really, really good edge defender, good open field tackler. Third down sack, big point of the game, you get that third down sack on the quarterback, or big tackle, goal line stand. What's more exciting to you?
More exciting. Definitely, I think would have to be a goal line stand. Being able to change the momentum of the game like that on the goal line, and I think it's kind of demoralizing for an offense that can't punch it on a 1 yard line. So I would say that's definitely more exciting.
Man, Trav, that's a true defender, bro.
I know.
All the sacks, bro. This guy is fourth in the nation in sacks, and he goes, "I'll take the goal line stand," because you said at the end, it breaks the mental fortitude of the opponent. That's a true defender right there.
He's a dog, bro. Look, so my co-host, aside from being from Jersey like you and telling me how great it is all the time, he also, I think, could be a GM in the league. He loves draft talk. He loves all this stuff. He's talking to me, telling me you're going to be a first or second round draft pick in the NFL. How do you stay focused on what you're doing right now and not get caught up in that? Because I'm telling you right now, Donovan, if I was you, man, I'd be walking around spending money I don't even have yet. Like, I'm a first rounder, baby. How do you stay focused and humble and just focus on Boston College football and not get caught up in that?
Honestly, I think I try to take the mentality that Coach O'Brien preaches. He preaches one play at a time, playing a full game. So I think that applies not only to football, but to life as well. I got to take this 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time. I still got, 3, potentially 4 more games left in my college career. And I think that if I'm able to maximize, what I can do in those games and help our team win, I think it'll put me in an even better position, for the NFL draft. So that's kind of how I think about it. I try not to look too far ahead. It's super exciting, obviously. Who wouldn't want to hear their name, especially somebody who's been playing the game since they were 7 years old. Like, who wouldn't want to hear that, they're, potentially getting drafted, being able to potentially walk across that stage or, hear their name called on TV or whatever the case may be. That's super exciting. But, I got to take care of what I got to take care of right here and right now. So try to just live in the moment.
Look, I appreciate Trav saying I could be a GM. If I was a GM, that's the best answer in the world, bro. I love that you have that outlook of you're focused on the execution, not the outcome. Because if you take care of the day-to-day execution, the rest takes care of itself. And you're being humble too, saying, hopefully the name's called. I will say, and I'm not gassing you up because you're on the show.
Gas him.
I watched you play. I read about you. I see the stats, everything, man. You'll get your name called.
Yeah.
But you mentioned it. You grew up playing this sport, and you love doing it. Who did you grow up watching? And you're like, I want to model my game after him.
Ooh.
So I watched a lot of. I would say when I finally started to like really understand football and what position I was going to be playing in the future. I watched a lot of Von Miller. He's a guy who's obviously still in the league, but in high school, like I looked up to how he used to bend off the edge and had a similar body type with like height wise and. I kind of grew into, having my 245-pound and 250-pound frame. So I watched a lot of Von Miller. But then again, I watched a lot of documentaries as well, like a lot of Football Lives, a lot of, 30 for 30s. So I watched, Deion Sanders' is a Football Life. I watched, guys like Warren Sapp and all that. So I watched a few different
South Jersey, though. You're an Eagles. Didn't you grow up in Eagles country? South Jersey Eagles fans or what?
I'm a real big Eagles fan for sure.
Okay.
Who was your favorite Eagle growing up? Not Brian. Aside from Brian Dawkins.
Not Brian Dawkins, right? It's gotta be.
So I was actually named after Donovan McNabb. So
no way.
So I was born in 2003. The Eagles. I think they were coming off the Super Bowl loss, or they went to the Super Bowl that year against the Patriots. So yeah. Was named after Donovan McNabb. So
wow.
Who had this say in naming you? Was it your mom or your dad that was a big McNabb fan?
Definitely my mom. She's a Philly native, so yeah, it kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Hey, I love that. So you talk about who you grew up watching. You talk about being a big Eagles fan, and you gave me someone you modeled your game after. But as an edge player, how would you describe the way you play?
I would say a guy who. I definitely take pride in stopping the run first. I think, people kind of get it twisted that, just want to go out there, pass rush, smaller defensive end, designated pass rusher. I think I take pride in stopping the run. But obviously, a guy that has speed off the edge, we're athletic, can bend the hoop, so that's kind of how I would describe my game.
Trav, he's saying that after they held Syracuse to 39 rushing yards.
Yeah.
By the way, so I just want
to. I told you he stood on business, man. I watched that whole game. You guys were balling out there. Hey, Bill O'Brien knows a thing or two about the NFL. I mean, what's it been like? What's it been like playing? With him as your head coach, and obviously, I'm sure he's kind of given you some pointers and some tips about the next level as well. I imagine.
Yeah, it's been really good. A coach with that resume, who wouldn't want to play under someone like that? He obviously, like I said with Coach Lewis, he tells us a lot of different stories about the guys that he's coached as well. Mm-hmm. One on the defensive side being J.J. Watt. He'll tell us about certain guys and how they were able to be leaders, and how they led. And I think that's super important, especially for the development of young college players like myself. So it's been really great having Coach O'Brien as my head coach, and I think it's a really good fit for him.
Man, if we put you and Tommy Castellanos in a race, who's winning that one?
Oh,
both good athletes.
I'll have to get at the Tommy. Tommy's definitely faster than me. So I know he's got wheels.
I know you've never been able to hit him in practice because you're a good teammate, but what is it like, and how does that help you when it comes to a game day where in practice you're going after Tommy Castellanos, then you get to game day when you can hit and no one can move like him, which I know it's an iron sharpens iron. That helps you get better just as an edge defender when it comes to tackling in space and obviously getting after the QB too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it definitely prepares us, when we're going against mobile quarterbacks like we're gonna, go up against this week at SMU. It's we're constantly getting practice. We understand that you can't just fly around the edge, You got to cage him in the pocket. When you're going too far up the field, you got to rush back, come back downhill because he's going to step up. It's this quarterback, this type of quarterback he is, and a guy that's able to extend plays. And if you do let them outside of the pocket, you better get ready to chase your tail off because either they're going to take off running or they'll be able to scramble to throw. So it's really good practice. Obviously, it definitely prepares us for mobile quarterbacks like we're getting ready to face this week, and but it does make it a little bit easier when we're going up against a quarterback that's more of a pocket passer, kind of similar to last week.
Man, we're talking about all this on the field stuff, and I know you sack the quarterback, you stuff the run, you're an absolute beast out there. But let's talk about off the field. What do you do when you chill? How do you just unwind, get away from the game? Take us into your hobbies, like your interest. What do you do when you're not playing ball and you just want to kick back?
Yeah, honestly, I spend a lot of time with my family and friends. My family comes up for the game. So after this past win, I went out to dinner with my family and then came back, played the Call of Duty, played the game for a little bit, and then watched a little college football, and then that was kind of my night. I don't really do too much. I would say I go explore the city with some of my guys. Go find some nice little restaurants to eat at, but definitely not too much, not nothing out of the ordinary or anything like that.
Low key, you're a low key dude. I'm surprised by the Call of Duty. I thought you were going to say you go and you play Boston College franchise mode on the college football game. I didn't see the Call of Duty coming. I'm shocked by that.
It's been cool though playing NCAA, but I haven't been grinding the way a lot of guys I know have been grinding.
You grind the tape with COD instead of NCAA.
That's right.
I like it. You said though,
hey,
after a big game, you like to go out to eat with your guys. What's your favorite type of food? Is it Italian? You got a lot of good options in Boston. So what's your go-to?
Yeah.
Big dub, good performance.
Yeah.
I want to eat right. Eat my favorite food. What do you eat?
Great question.
Yeah, so honestly, we like Strega North End a lot.
Yeah,
we go there pretty often.
Cool.
We got a nice family over there at Strega, so we eat over there a lot. Love a good Italian food. But then other restaurants. We got the good Mexican spots out here. So yeah, good cool little breakfast spots. I just went out to breakfast earlier today, so it's cool.
I can't have you talk about Strega, which asking, where's your go-to dessert spot after? Is it Modern? Is it Mike's? Is it Bova's?
So I go to Bova's because I
My man, smart.
They're 24 hours. So
Yep.
I love a good cannoli from Bova's. So
There you go. You Jersey guys, I swear, man.
We come from good Italian food, so we got to look out.
I know what good Italian food tastes like for sure. So.
Exactly, and that's real recognized real. If he said it right away, it goes for Italian. My favorite thing, I'm walking down Hanover Street. There's that long line at Mike's. I just go to a tourist. I'm like, go around the corner, check out Bova's, in and out, no line.
Wow.
Like, really? And I go, just trust me on this.
But I would say I haven't tried Mike's though, so maybe it's a bias. I typically go to Strega kind of later in the evening. Mm-hmm. So sometimes the other bakeries aren't open, but I know that's a 24-hour bakery. So I
Smart man. Hey, we've talked about on the field. We talk about off the field.
Yep.
I would love to know, behind the scenes. You mentioned your family. Obviously, the coaches have helped you get to this point in your career. Who behind the scenes, whether it's your family, your friends, what have you, have helped you get to this point in your career as well?
Yeah, well, obviously my faith in God, obviously, but my family as well. A really strong second. 2-parent household with 3 brothers, and we're all very tight knit. We're all very close, and they're especially my brothers. They're the first ones to tell me, hey, they'll show me clips of my game, and hey, Don, it doesn't look like you're going hard enough on this play or on that play, or you could have did this better. And sometimes sometimes I hear the critiques from coaches, but they're the first ones to really get on me about stuff like that, and I think that makes me go harder. Obviously, it's they obviously know what I want to get out of this game, and they just kind of hold me accountable. So.
Man, I love that. Nothing like accountability from the siblings. We spoke before. Your last name being Ezeiruaku. I know it's Nigerian descent. What does that mean to you whenever you take the field, whenever you make a big play? Someone hears that last name for someone where your dad came from Nigeria and you now being a first-generation American. Yep. What does it mean to you to represent, more than just yourself, more than just your family, but a unique last name, of course, that represents a nation as well?
Yeah, it means a lot. I get a lot of calls and texts from my family, my extended family, and they just let me know how proud they are of me. And we do a lot of things for the name on the front of our jersey. At the same time, we do a lot of things for the name on the back of our jersey. So it really means a lot that when you look up my last name, a picture of myself or a picture of my family or whatever comes up, and it's like all good news. That's so important for me. And I just want to continue to make my family proud, but as well continue to do things for myself as well.
Donovan, no doubt you're accomplishing that, my man.
Absolutely.
On the field, off the field. This conversation that Trav and I are having with you, first time we've met, man.
Yep.
I was a fan of your game,
Yep.
fan of you as a person now. Be wishing you the best, man, this week, next week, and moving forward throughout your career, man. He's Donovan.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you too. He's Donovan Ezeiruaku. Donovan, thanks for joining the chat, my man. Best of luck the rest of the way. We're rooting for you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.